One Piece, Chapter 924, titled Ha! Because that's basically what a lot of people said during last chapter, when Luffy promptly got his ass handed to him. Kaido basically took a rolled up newspaper and bopped Luffy on the nose and put him in a coma. But in all seriously, we're at the aftermath of everything that has happened between Luffy and Kaido. Short though it may be. Cause I'm sorry. We can't let Luffy take this L without basically mocking him about it because man, dude ran in like Leroy Jenkins and got stomped so hard that he kind of looks like, you know, episode 1, chapter 1 Luffy. Like, damn, dude. But Kaido starts thinking about the fact that, Luffy's still breathing, that attack didn't kill him. Yeah, so Kaido's just like, yeah, I kind of figured as much. But as soon as Law comes in to do what a lot of people thought and try to use his ability in order to get Luffy the fuck up out of there, in comes Hawkins. Like, of course, because Hawkins has been nothing but a thorn in Luffy and Law's side this entire time. And he comes in, fires a sea prism nail into Law's shoulder in order to negate his abilities. We find out a little lore about the fact that Sea Prism artisanry has actually stemmed from Wano itself, so that explains like where a lot of the, concepts behind the cages and handcuffs and stuff like that actually came out of. Although how that got to the larger world as a whole, we'll just have to find out later. But Law can do nothing but try to escape from Hawkins and the fact that his trifling ass is all up on him every few seconds. Because Hawkins, like, man, Hawkins earning him his keep with Kaido. Like, he's all over this every step of the way. So Hawkins, like, he's a team player just for the wrong team. Meanwhile, with Luffy, Kaido, in no small words starts to kind of, to a certain degree, praise Luffy, just being like, kid's got this indomitable will, it might just be bravado, but he really has this strong will. And we come to find out this is because, despite the fact that he's still unconscious, Luffy has been basically glaring at Kaido that entire time. You know, even to the point where Kaido's just like, okay guys, take him back to the base, we'll do what we can to break his will, you know and he should end up becoming a valuable asset to me. Like, Kaido's on some, yeah, I'll take you under my wing. It's like, there's no point in killing you when you could actually make a good, valuable asset to me, Just like a few of the other supernovas have, It's like, I like the fact that Kaido isn't just like, I'm gonna kill him. He's more of, I see an opportunity here. This kid, he's got potential, he's got strength. And if I bring him under my wing, there might actually be some use out of this guy. Which says something because Luffy has broken down so much of Kaido's operation. The fact that he's just like, I can get some use out of this kid. It's just like, that really says a lot about how Kaido thinks and acts. The fact that he's willing to sweep under the rug the weapons situation and the smile situation just because he sees potential in Luffy. Like, man, Kaido is in it for the long game. Like, that's an entrepreneur there. However, a lot of his minions who go to take away Luffy end up being knocked out by his Conqueror's Haki. And we get the first little indication of what Kid is capable of when he mentions that Eustace Kid also has a strong amount of Conqueror's Haki. Although Kaido's on some alpha shit saying like, the world doesn't need so many conquerors. Which, Yo, that's the most alpha thing I've ever heard. Like, Kaido's on some high shit with this. And he just kind of leaves. He's just like, they'll get him when they wake up. I'm out. And he just bounces. Like, Kaido gives so little fucks. It's just hilarious. And Shutemaru observes all of this and he's just like, oh, that's the same thing Odin was able to do, which continues to cement just how much, like, a lot of the theories that Shutemaru is Boy Ashura, with us finding out later through Kinemon, who sees Shutemaru, he calls him Boy Ashura. So Shutemaru has been around the block for a hot minute, Shutemaru is no slouch in this game and is probably going to play a pretty important role later down the line. Though we pick up with Law, who has done his best to escape from Hawkins, who is on the hunt, and he's just like, we got Luffy, we'll take him away, we captured one, it's only a matter of time before we get Law. So Hawkins, I still stand by the belief that Hawkins is going to turn this around and ally with the rest of the supernovas, but if he doesn't, he's making a pretty decent enemy throughout all of this. He's actually showing that he's pretty capable and pretty on the nose about a lot of the things he says and does. He's proving himself highly useful to Kaido in the long game, so if he ends up continuing to be an adversary throughout this entire spiel, this entire story arc, then I won't be mad at it. Meanwhile, with Kinemon, he's going through Leftover Village, he observes his wife Suru, he's pining over her, being like, man, in these 20 years, she hasn't changed a bit. A little sweet little moment with Kinemon. But he was also there just to give us that information that Shutemaru is in fact Boy Ashura. Meanwhile, we pick back up with Okiku, where we find out the ability of the ninja, or the kunoichi Shinso, is actually an ability of the rot fruit. She is able to rot away physical objects or inorganic objects, non-living objects, I guess. And, she rotted away the ground, so they slipped under in order to dodge the blast of Kaido. So, nobody really believed they were dead, though. I'm glad that Oda quickly squashed any thought of that ASAP, because no one was buying that. Such an anticlimactic way to go out. Yeah, no one was buying into that, So I'm glad that Oda didn't stick with that up until the end, so everyone's fine. However, unfortunately, Kiku and the various newspapers that go around Wano inform everyone, the Straw Hats specifically, of the goings-on between Luffy and Kaido. Although, one bit of information, Kaido did specifically tell them, yes, feel free to spread word of this defeat, but don't mention that he was from the outside world. It is forbidden. So, nice little bit of Kaido continuing to perpetuate that whole isolationism thing. However, as the various Straw Hats find out, I love the reaction faces, because, Frankie and Usopp's, and even Zoro's reaction to Luffy's defeat is hilarious in and of itself, but the real showstopper is the fact that Robin has this overly exaggerated, because all of them have this overly exaggerated ego raptor-like face, just, what? What? And it's just hilarious because they're so just shocked that Luffy finally gets into Wano, and the first thing he does is get his ass handed to him by the main villain. That's really the real selling point of Wano so far. The fact that Luffy ain't even been in Wano a day. I don't even think it's been a day, and already he started some shit and gotten his ass beat down. the nail who sticks up the highest gets hammered down the fastest. And that is so true in this situation. Because Law was just like, let's lay low, let's think this out, we can do this if we just think it through. And Luffy went in, just stupid as he may be. I love Luffy, but damn, that was stupid. And everyone's just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Like, how did everything fall through so quickly? It's just so great. I love that moment where everyone just sees it and they're just, the reaction is priceless. It is priceless. I was rolling just seeing that, and just Robin. Robin has finally become a Straw Hat, because that is the only time we've seen her have an over exaggerated look to her, and it is phenomenal. Meanwhile, we pick up with Lord Inuarashi, who actually managed to find Tama, and she is still breathing, though she is injured, so he takes her in order to get her some help. So she is being looked after, thankfully. Not dead, just captured. And as Luffy is escorted into what is known as the Rabbit Bowl, where they make all the weaponry in Wano, we end up finding what has happened with Eustace Kid, where people are given specific orders in order to feed him poisonous fish in order to keep him docile, but also to remember to remove the bones. Because when we see what happens when someone doesn't remove the bones from the fish, he just spits it out at them at high velocity, gets the dude in the neck, and dude full on starts bleeding out. Dude's dead. You don't take a shot to the artery like that and lose blood like that, and you don't die. That was a death blow. Dude dead. Dude is dead. Kid gives no fucks. And they're trying to break his spirit and his will, and it's obvious that even after all this time, Kid is still in it for the long game. And they mock and they demean both Kid and Luffy, saying, we're gonna work you to death, we'll tear down your will, and you will swear fealty to Kaido. But even after the beatings they've taken and all that they've been through, both Kid and Luffy swear that Kaido will rule this day. And with that similar mindset, Luffy and Kid notice each other and go, oh, it's you. And thus, with a very traditional Japanese shamisen playing, the first act of Wano comes to a close, like very officially. Like Oda is very much setting this up like a stage play with the words Wano Country Part 1 end. So we're on hiatus for next week, but all these threads are just being woven up into what's gonna go down with Kaido. A lot of people predicted that Kid would play an integral part in an alliance with Luffy and Law, and we're finally getting to see that come to fruition, which has taken so much time, like a good 10 years, I guess, since we saw these three in the same place. So it's, with this common goal of taking down Kaido, we might finally get to see them work together, or some semblance of them, because they're both stubborn as all hell. But in order to take down someone so powerful, they may just end up allying themselves together, because they're both very stubborn. But despite what a lot of people are thinking, that there might be a training montage or a small time skip to the Fire Festival, 2 weeks ain't gonna change too much in order for them to be able to take down someone as strong as Kaido. Having Luffy, Law, and Kid all team up, on the other hand, even maybe getting Hawkins or Scratchman Apu or even X-Drake in on all of this, that could very well turn the tide of everything we see happen up until this point. So I would love that because that would really show the power of a Yonko. Because Big Mom showed it off in the fact that, she was able to stop Luffy at every turn with every attack he was able to do, and it ended up being her lieutenant who gave Luffy the biggest run for his money. So that really showed off the power of Big Mom. With Whitebeard, the fact that he was able to go toe to toe with someone that Luffy couldn't even touch back during that really shows off the power of Whitebeard. But having enough of the supernovas going after one guy would really show the power and capability and a threat that is Kaido. And I really hope Oda goes in this direction, because having Luffy be the one to take out Kaido, I don't know, I don't feel like it would really sell Kaido's strength. But I'm glad this has kind of ended the way it did, because we're on break next week, so it's a good stopping point. I wonder if we'll switch back to the Reverie after this, or if we'll jump into the secondary part where he's just trying to split this up in ways where the anime could potentially just, cap off certain sections and then go into a little bit of filler if he's doing it that way, because Fairy Tail had done that here and there. So that was a very interesting way they did things. So I'm interested to see if just how Oda actually goes about this entire thing, how he develops the story and has it progress further. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think will happen between Luffy and Kid? What do you think Law will end up doing? Will he meet up with the rest of the Straw Hats? Will they all congregate together somewhere down the line in order to kind of reshape their plan? My thought is the fact that they might just leave Luffy in prison up until around the time of the Fire Festival, and then break him out afterwards just to kind of keep him out of the way. Because if Luffy's out there running around, he's just going to get into more trouble. So having him just kind of cool his jets in a cell might be the best option, honestly. But we'll see. But we're definitely going to have a big moment between Kid and Luffy. So I'm so excited to see that go down. And hey, if you liked what I had to say about this chapter, leave me a like. If you didn't like what I had to say, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I'm doing wrong. And subscribe for more One Piece chapter reviews. Thanks for joining me. Kaido will rule this day.